Hi, it's Pryde, and I'm going to read a little more from the Wisp, which is my YA fantasy novel that's available through Amazon.com. I'm going to read a little bit more of Ragman. Ragman had followed them from the cafe. Bara would ask why he did this later, but for now he was her hero, rescuing her from the conjure and keeping the amber and the diary from Brindlin. She thanked him, but he wasn't exactly gracious in response. He seemed to snicker through sharp canines. Not bothering with niceties, Matthew said but one word: change. Ragman growled but then grew silent. He sat down upon his haunches and gagged like a dog that had eaten too much grass. But he didn't vomit. He vibrated and waves of movement rippled through his furry hide, small waves at first but growing to more than a foot in length. It seemed there was a separate being moving within, which as it turned out was the case. Throwing his head back like he meant to howl, Ragman opened his wolf mouth. No sound. Instead, jaws opened ever wider and a hand came forth, followed by another. Fingers worked to open the muzzle. There was a sound of ripping skin and the splatter of a whole lot of blood. A bald head appeared and then broad shoulders. Ragman fought his way through his own werewolf jaws and a naked and very slimy human form emerged. What was left of the carcass fell away like a discarded fur coat. Then on rubbery joints and muscles, Ragman collapsed, landing on the forest floor next to his empty pelt. Bara had never witnessed a birth, and so she had no way of knowing the similarities. She watched in disgust as the infant man writhed and wiggled upon a bed of moist leaves. His skin was raw, red, hairless, and covered in a gelatinous mucus. He let out a cry quite similar to that of a newborn. His pink eyes stared up at the sky above without focus. Ragman seemed to see nothing but pain. There were many loud groans and cracks as the bones hardened and joints snapped into place. His torment went on for more than a minute, but finally he stilled, closed his lids, and lay as though asleep. Eyebrows grew back in seconds, and when his eyes reopened, they were green again. Ragman yawned and stretched as though he'd only woken from a nap. He came to his feet. Not concerned with his nakedness, he smirked when Bara looked away. He said in response to her thank you, "You can owe me." With a wry grin on his now hairless face, he looked down at the dead conjure and then regarded Matthew. "Changing works up quite an appetite, mon frère." Matthew gave a look of disgust. "I'm not your brother," he said, but then nodded. "Bon appetit. But let us clear out before you chow down." Matthew picked up the bag from where it lay on the ground, took Bara's hand, and led her from the carnage that was to come. As they retreated, there was a growl, and then what could only have been the sound of tearing flesh and crunching bones. Matthew read her mind. "Remember what I said about werewolves not being very particular? I wouldn't look back if I were you. It's not a pleasant sight." Bara took his advice, and they put some space between themselves and Ragman and his dinner. All right, that's it. We'll see you next time. Bye.